You have an interest in this, whether you like it or not. You signed a contract to deliver the platinum chip to me. Now I could stop you from leaving, but what would that accomplish? If you want to go, go. See what the strip I built, the strip I own, has to offer. Think about what I could offer you. I expect we'll have occasion to talk again. You are the first person to step foot inside the Lucky 38, you know.
Earthlings, I wanted to cover a different side of the deck that, contrary to my affinity for unpopular and weird commanders, is actually pretty popular in its color identity. If you've ever built a commander so disgusting that physically touching the deck makes you feel gross, then let me introduce you to one of the most broken decks I've built in recent time. Mr. House, President and CEO, is more unassuming than a child wanting to kill you. For Mardu, we've got a 0/3 human artifact creature with the absolutely absurd abilities where if you roll a 4 or higher on any dice, you get a robot creature token. But if you roll an 8 or higher, you get that and a treasure, and his final ability lets you roll a d6 plus any additional times that you use a treasure to pay for that ability. This is gonna be a crazy one. Let's go. So you may be wondering as to why I would build a deck like this, or not. But I'd been waiting to build a dice roll deck for a long time, and up until the Fallout set, I hadn't found a proper commander that made me really want to do it. I also wanted to build this because it uses a lot of cards that don't commonly see playing commander, and I think that's important. There is Faraday as a dice roll commander, but he's pretty lackluster, even though blue has some great dice roll cards. And then there's Will with whatever background you want, and the ever popular Delina Wild Mage. But the beauty of this deck is you can run both, and a bunch of other gross things that really get this deck running. Now I'll be honest, I don't know much about the Fallout verse. My wife and I play 76 a decent amount.
I've been listening to nothing this entire run. I don't care.
And I've taken in whatever lore I can from that. But outside of that, I'm fairly novice. But that's not the point. We're Magic players, damn it. So the fact that he can both shit out creatures and mana without even having to really do anything is what makes him which makes him as strong as he is. Let's note that his ability doesn't care about how many dice you roll. He counts for every single one rolled. Now, it doesn't matter if it's 1 at a time or 3. So for that reason, we of course run Will, Blade of Frontiers, and Barbarian class. I couldn't find any other cards in Mardu that gives you extra dice rolls. So if you know of any, let me know. But the beautiful part about this type of build is not just the D&D sets that care about dice roll. Oh no, some honorable mentions that I think are just hilarious are Contraband Livestock, Valiant Endeavor, and Merkel's Edict. But, my friends, you know what other set likes dice? Unfinity. A lot of people groan over cards from that set being tournament and commander legal, but I'm of the minority that think more should be, to be honest. Cards like Comet Stellar Pup, Night Shift of the Living Dead, and Clown Car are just way too funny to bust out at a table. And anything that garnishes what the fuck reactions is always a blast to me. Now yes, the main squeeze of this deck is dice rolling. But we're also not ignorant to the fact that we're shitting out artifact tokens at a faster rate than the downfall of the Snow White movie. So cards like Idol of Oblivion and Mirkwood Bats and Academy Manufacturer can ensure that we benefit from both our treasures and robots, and amplifying the amount of tokens we do pump out. And like, if you really wanted to pump out more money on a deck like this, I think it's worth it. Like, obviously, if you want to include the Ancient Dragons, those give you a dice roll. But even a card like Low Shield Clockwork Scholar is great for any artifact creature deck, especially when you're pumping out all these robot tokens and you just want to swing in with them. You can get to some pretty ignorant stuff with that, and they can draw you cards. Same with Lotho Corrupt Sheriff. Anyone else plays their stuff, you get treasure tokens. I think that's pretty worth it. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Crime Novelist, Zorn, and Professional Facebreaker give us alternate ways to utilize our treasures and benefit from them. Crime Novelist is just crazy when each treasure can technically net you 2 mana. Goldspan who? Like, this deck is mostly budget friendly, with the main exception being Delina, but she's just way too strong. Cards like Earth Called Elemental and even making a token copy of Mr. House can just get so out of control that it makes you question your sanity when you're just being buried in epoxy molded value. The fact that he's so cheap to cast means that you really don't need an insane ramp package. I originally had a Sol Ring in there, but figured that it wasn't even needed. Anytime I've played it, yeah, it's not needed. The bobbleheads can provide so much value by themselves, and my favorite mana rock in this deck is Vexing Puzzle Box. Not to mention that Mr. House, or I guess we'll call him Mr. Mansion at this point, himself can crap out treasure tokens, so you really don't need a crazy ramp package, in my opinion. Some other notable mentions that can really make or break the game are Revivify, Marionette Master, and Will's Reversal. The great part about a lot of the dice roll enablers in this deck is that, especially if you're rolling d20s, your chances of rolling 8s or higher is crazy good. And if you can run something like Clock of Omens, you can just go completely bananas. It's also a combo piece with Jan Jansen Chaos Crafter. And if you have things like Mirkwood Bats, Reckless Fireweaver, or Ingenious Artillerist on board, you can just burn everyone down in such a display of dominance that would make the world leaders tremble. But yeah, that's the deck. Let me know what you think, and either how you'd run this, or if you do you run it differently or similarly? Like, I think it's a pretty straightforward commander that can get out of hand in a hurry. Mardu is known for being fast, but woof, this deck gets pretty nutty. But yeah, aside from all that, go peep my Patreon, join the Discord, check out my music, rap that like, tap that subscribe. Peace.